We're back, man. BSideShow.net. Thanks you guys for tuning in and vibing out with us, man. This is a real good discussion right here, man. Thank you, Bubsky. And he has some real good things to say, and he's dressed better than all of us, man. It still makes me mad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Next time, hey.
Presentation is everything. So when I'm talking about this marketing thing and I'm discussing all that shit, I'm letting you know that I ain't bullshitting about it. You know what I mean? I had to go buy a 3 for $99 at suit in downtown just to prove that to y'all and shit. What street is that shit on, D? The 3 for $99 and shit?
Coming from a quinceañera.
The guy that's what's the guy with the suit? The guy with the beard. He went to him, dog, to get his suit.
The cool smooth dude.
The smooth dude who talks kind
That's
of like
Man's
MP.
Warehouse, homie.
He has a voice
that
like
not
MP.
even the spokesman no more, dog. They bought him out. Come on, dog. You got to stay up on the business, dog.
Yeah, man. Hey, I think as soon as I get a suit too, and we all get suits, I think we're up for that. We got to do that seminar thing, man. That's real talk.
No, but even that, like, we gotta even the marketing, just so people understand that the branding, the image of doing all that, the accessibility as an artist. You know what I mean? Making it easy for when they like. If they do Google you, you know what I mean? Whatever's on there is your content. You know what I mean? You don't Google DJ Lord Ron. And it's me talking about Lord Ron, or it's like my channel, you know what I mean? Like, although you'll find ojsgradio.com, YouTube. But you know what I mean? But for the most part, it should be his contact and him directing it to him. Like, a lot of artists don't even have that, especially the old school artists, you know what I mean? And one of the things I wanted to touch in on that was, like, understand that there's genres of this. Old school cat fucking with a young 19, 17-year-old promoter, it's not because you're so fucking hip hop and doing with that. He's trying to get to those kids that you marketed already that you have. You know what I mean? That's why he's tapping into that. Don't ever think like, oh, I'm gonna ride with them because fucking, you know what I mean? They're real hip hop, or they have an understanding. Like, a majority of the promoters nowadays have no sense, or like, I'll put it to you this way. I was talking to an MC about Radiotron because they just did the reunion, and I was hitting up people about it, like, oh yeah, come through, and like directly hitting up people like, expecting, you know, a lot of people like, what's Radiotron? And I was like, fuck, I failed as a media outlet.
Shit, dude.
You know what I mean? I failed. Hit up D, and I'm like, hey D, we got to interview Carmelo. Carmelo, you know what I mean, is the founder of Radiotron. We got to interview him. Like, I failed, and I took it as I failed. You know what I mean? Because if we're about history, you know what I mean? This, and especially if anybody out there saying this is a culture, this is this, and you know what I mean? Like, if you're going that route, then understand why it's called the culture and why. Fucking 60% LA Unified dropout rate and shit. I don't think you learn too much history, American history. So I don't expect you to fucking go out of your way to learn hip hop history. You know what I mean? We are dumbed down. You know what I mean? And part of the revolution is to fucking educate. So it's not nothing like, my fight isn't a fucking right now, I'm gonna overthrow, I'm gonna do this. No, mine is fucking long term. You know what I mean? Like, get those disenfranchised kids to fucking come in. You're always gonna go to the hood for the dopest shit because they don't have nothing. They gotta work with what the fuck they got. You know what I mean? That's why, you know, it's always this urban. That shit ain't urban, homie. That's fucking ghetto. That's barrio. That's what that shit is. Urban's just a nice way of putting it. And why urban is the way for other people to make money. Because we're in the hood, we're gonna be like, this is fucking hood hop. Like, okay, but if it's urban, then we could sell it. So you're not gonna understand that market. You know what I mean?
The world is a ghetto now.
World is a ghetto.
You know, actually, even with that, man, hip hop started in the projects, homie. Like,
yes, sir.
Straight up, you know what I mean? So me being from the Rose Hill projects in East LA, El Sereno area, I'm hip hop. I tell people, and then even with that, like, I catch a lot of shit too, cause I'm Chicano rap. I like rap, and I'm a Chicano.
Pocos peros locos.
So I'm not Chicano rap. Am I Chicano?
Yeah.
I'm Chicano rap. You know what I mean?
I think Psycho Rome gets put into that category. Yeah. That's some of the most raw, ill hip hop out there.
Take any like,
but they got to use. They definitely got to use the Spanish audience or the essays, the pelons, as well as the hip hop heads.
But even with them,
the ladies that love
lyrical and writing wise, fuck, Praying Mantis. Listen to that song and like everybody's like, oh, it's a cool song. That fool's talking about he's going to kill somebody. You know, he was hired. But if you look at it on a street level, you're like, all right, I'm doing a mission.
Yeah.
Everybody,
Yeah.
that's your homework. Go home and listen to that
Yeah.
song, Praying Mantis by Psycho Rome. And when it comes back, no, he's talking about he got hired and it's a setup at the end. He gets killed by the same people that, you know what I mean?
That whole album there is
Yeah.
like you gotta listen to that whole album from beginning to end because the way they
catalog.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude, it's just man.
Everything but yeah, that's
it's
enough
crazy.
Six Side Radio.
Right, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, this BSideShow.net, break beats and rhymes.
Because what he was talking about, like as far as like music and where finding music, and then you guys, playing on the radio tip and stuff like that. Like, where do you guys get your guests, your artists, or what do you look for when you're getting your guests on the show and stuff like that? I mean, because I'm sure you get hit up fucking all the time by Joe and Dick and shit like that, But what do you look for? And where do you search for your guests?
I think one, it's a lot of the artists we look up to and just love, like kind of the heavy hitters out there. Of course, we want to reach out to them, or it's been a cool communication where sometimes they reach out to us if a new album's dropping, or they let their homie who's in town know about us. Or as we mentioned, cats have brought people through to our radio show because they know we have a radio show like OG Huskey. So that as well. DJ Lord Ron comes across a lot of talent that we may not. And then I think at the end of the day, it's like professionalism of an artist. If they hit you up, contact you, stay on point with it. They don't bug with it. They realize we may not hit them back that same day, that same week, or whatnot. And then they understand that it's a whole scheduling process. Like you said, we'd be booking like a month in advance. Sometimes it's real busy, so 2 months in advance. And the fortunately, feel blessed that the supply's there. Like the artists are there, dope local artists, dope artists who are G's who've been putting it down for years. So with all that, and then at the same time, artists that shout out the show or that promote it, I think are naturally gonna come in sooner, or they know what the show's about, so they know what songs might fit that show or whatever. Like, it's not like we got a standard guideline, but they know what the show's about. That's gonna naturally kind of get that connection going quicker.
I think kind of to go along with what Bubsky was saying too is there, we do having shows, we do have it, and I've had the same talk with people too, and the same vision in my head is that sometimes I feel like what you said, like maybe I didn't do my job, like as an outlet, as a platform, we gotta kind of and then also bridge the gap between the young and old too. And I think a perfect example is when the Mind Clouder Festival, and you took your kids, and they wanted how old are they, dog? How old are they, dog? Yeah,
I got a.
Well, he's only 21. He's only 21.
I have a senior and a freshman, man.
But they went to see the Shapeshifters.
And let me tell you how hip hop works. I didn't want to go to that shit. Detail already told me he wasn't going.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to that shit. That shit's in Pomona. Forever fucking hate a reason Detail had. Fuck whoever on the whatever. Not bullshit. And I didn't even want to go. I got home and I was like, fuck it, I ain't got a ride. I ain't gonna drive. Like, Detail was gonna swoop us up and go. I got home. My kids were dressed. And my kids are diehard Shapeshifter
That's
fans.
what I was just gonna say. They want to see the Shapeshifters.
They even were like, well, let's make sure we get there early because we want to make the whole set. They were mad they missed Existerial set earlier and shit. You know what I mean? Went and chopped it up with them. That's like, to me, like, I could fucking wear a gold chain and I could sag my pants and I could do all that shit. But when I'm talking about hip hop and keeping it evolving, that's hip hop to me. And even with that, like, they were like, don't fuck parenting advice. They were b-boys before and shit, like diehard motherfuckers, like Red Bull fucking sponsorship and like taking to San Diego doing all shit. They found basketball and that was their niche and they ran with it. So don't just expect like you're gonna force feed them, like, you know what I mean? It's to each his own. Same thing, you know what I mean? Everybody has to find your niche, find where you belong and fucking roll with it. Did I think that you know what I mean? Some fat kid from the projects with glasses, fucking dirt fucking poor, people would want to fucking hear what the fuck I have to say years later? You know what I mean? No, you know what I mean? But
He
that's
got
how
some
life
good- Yeah,
Do
he
we
got
know
some
you be
good
wearing
sons,
suits
man.
like that?
He did a hell of a job. He's a good dad.
started from the bottom. Now we're on B-side show.
Yeah, that's
Real
why.
hip-hop,
That's why
yo.
you wore a suit. That's what it was, man. No, but I mean, I guess my point was is that I know you didn't force feed your kids that, but that's what they wanted to hear, and they wanted to go see the Shapeshifters, which were, you know, they when they were coming out, when they were in their peak. I don't know how old they were. They were probably what, you know.
They got the tail end of it because
Yeah.
they got really into like actual music, probably like 7 and 6, 7 years old.
Something
Like, shout out to the like serious like iPods, fucking straight, man. You know how much you could lace people with music and shit. Like,
yeah.
I used to joke with people like, check the iPod. I bet you they have better shit than you, because they'll go through my music. Like even now, they'll go through my files and they'll pick what they want. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong. Like shit, ASAP Mob and Flatbush Zombies, all that shit. I got all that shit. Like I think that's a misconception too, is that people automatically think like honestly, like break beats and rhymes. I never went there to get interviewed because I don't rhyme over break beats. Like I haven't heard no one rhyming over a break beat in a while. You know what I mean? Like it's just a misconception. Like I said, it's stuff we put up on our own. You know what I mean? Like nah, it's hip hop. We keep evolving. We keeps going. You know, there's good music to be like break beats and rhymes. All they play is break beats. You know what I mean? Like that's all. We're just digging. Hell no, he's Mexican, homie. That motherfucker plays oldies. I bet you. I fucking bet you he's playing fucking oldies on a Sunday, homie.
Salsa for
You know
my
what I mean? And if
lady.
you want to, that's just because we're keeping it real. You know what I mean? Like people trip out because they'll come on a Sunday to my crib. All I bump is corridos and oldies on a Sunday. Sorry, like, you know what I mean? Like that's just is what it is. Anybody that knows me knows that shit. Like you don't have to
I'm
deal
gonna
with
come
this
to
shit.
the crib on a Sunday then, as opposed to the
it's
OG
a Thursday,
Huskey.
like a Thursday night.
I
huh?
listen to everything,
Yeah.
not just hip hop. You know what I mean? And I'm older than hip hop, so I come up on a lot of
yeah.
stuff. And then thanks, to my mom and my pops. Pop was a big Latin jazz fan. You know what I'm saying? My mom might be bumping some Barbra Streisand one week, some James Brown, when stereos was popping. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you as a man behind the decks, a master behind the decks and stuff, do you feel those? I mean, it's like you have to be listening to everything though. I mean, just to stay with times or just in general, just having a catalog of so many music.
I just think is something I was born with. Even if hip hop wasn't around, I think I would be involved
Music.
with something on the creative side. You know what I'm saying? But I try to stay current. What's going on in mainstream. I might not like a lot of it, but there are some stuff that I do think that is cool. You know what I mean? But I listen to a lot of stuff.
To go along with what you're saying is I grew up that same way.
Don't go along with nobody though. Fuck that. Argue with somebody, dog.
Yeah, no, I'm not in complete agreement with everything everybody's saying, but I do try to keep an open mind about stuff in my personal way, the way I do it. But I did grow up around. My parents were kind of in that era, the late 70s, early, where I grew up. I still bump sometimes when I go to work. I'll bump some classic rock and stuff like that,
definitely.
and some Led Zeppelin, all that kind of stuff. I mean, we do hip hop platform like you're saying, but it don't mean that's all I bump every single day. But I got the luxury of that, like you're saying, from your parents, that you did grow up around a big aspect of different music, and I think maybe that's why we all do what we do. I think is because we have a broader mindset, I guess, for different music and not just one thing all the time. So that's all I meant. Sorry, Bubsky. I'm just
You're tuned
intimidated.
into BSideShow.net.
I'm intimidated by the
Like-
suit.
Forum
dog.
every
I ain't
Monday
gonna
night,
lie.
Monday night.
Like before I came over here, right now on the way over here, I'm bumping some Tangerine Dream. How many people know about Tangerine Dream? You know what I mean?
What were we bumping top rank? I woke up in a new Bugatti. Shit. You didn't know about that shit,
What
homie.
were you playing on the way here?
Bumping?
What were you
Damn.
playing?
Some new Earl Sweatshirt shit. So
Hey, how is that?
ain't-
How is that shit?
That ain't the average.
How is
breakbeat
that?
to rhyme stuff, but
The RZA's
I
on a
like-
track, right?
Yeah, the
How is
RZA's
it?
on a joint. That's one of the standout tracks. But I like his rhyming skills. I like that style.
Yeah, he's
Sometimes I think I'm a positive dude. Even our music is on the inspirational tip, whatever. But sometimes I want to hear that I don't give a fuck rap, but with skills. Skills.
Yeah.
It's reminiscent of early Eminem stuff, of course. But Some to check for.
How's the
Earl
beats?
sick.
Beats. What's your fan?
Some
like
of
the
them
beats.
are real dope. Some of them are
Out
to
there.
me like whack or not my shit. Skip right through it. But that's the broadness of their crowd. You know, they got like young white girls listening to their shit. They're not gonna bump the harder, more boom bap type stuff. I might, but I'm not. You know,
They're just kind of playing the field, really.
Yeah,
when you think about
I might
it. Yeah.
like one of the weirder or softer or whatever kind of songs, but you know, and at the same time, I'll be bumping some like System of a Down shit or, you know, some Led Zeppelin or reggae. I love my reggae.
Yeah.
Some jazz. Fuck, you know,
Shania
this goes
Twain.
on. Some
Shania,
Coldplay.
man.
Miley
shit.
Cyrus.
Twerk on that shit.
Know what
Yeah.
up?
I gotta say, I want to hear you guys agree with me. I'm hoping you guys do that. One of the best all-time MCs ever,
Vanilla Ice.
Vanilla Ice.
Nah, fuck that. Cause that dude who says
Nope.
fucking cause that dude who said I had a broken keyboard, I bought a broken keyboard. Come on, dog. You can't compete with that shit, homie. That's mad. That's better than the mad physical, lyrical. That fool said, I had a broken keyboard. I bought a broken keyboard. Fuck, he took Vanilla Ice on. That was like worse than that Kendrick diss. When he said that shit just brought fucking hip hop to a whole nother level. The worst thing about it, everybody knows who the fuck I'm talking about too.
Or I got a big booty girl and I call her Big Booty. What about that? All right,
Vanilla Ice.
classic lines, man.
Wow.
Hey, we're gonna play one more break
Yeah.
before we do the tail end of this, cause I got another question. I wanted to start with DJ Lord Ron on that, but let's play one more video and break it down. Man, we'll get into remember final thoughts. Like Maury. We'll get into the
Better
final
think.
thoughts, man. We're almost done with this show. Hey, this
You
is
are not the father.
This is yeah. It's the neighbors, baby. Hey, we'll be right back, man. This is the B-side show. Act like you know.